Let's get started. This is worksheet 14. So as promised, I'm going to actually start on the second page. So this worksheet is about building sentences. So we're going to talk through the different cases and how to use them and when to use them and all that good stuff. So that might take a little bit longer. So instead we're going to fast forward a little bit and we're going to do the review stuff on the back. Okay. So we're going to start just by reviewing our basic verb forms. Okay. So conjugating in the present, the imperfect, and the future. Dokeo dokeire, right? That is a second conjugation verb. So our first form is always just the first principal part, dokeo. Make these a little bit bigger. There we go. So for present tense conjugation, right, we just keep our, oops, let's make all these bold too. Formatting, there we go. We just keep our stem and we add our ending. So dokeo, dokes, doket, dokemus, doketus, dokent. The long marks that appear and disappear are pronunciation long marks, so don't worry too much about it. Imperfect, right? We take our stem, doke, and then for imperfect, we're going to do our bom, doke, bas, doke, bat, doke, bamus, doke, batis, and doke, bant. And for the future, we have doke, bo for second conjugation, first and second. Doke, bis, doke, bit, doke, bimus, doke, bitis, doke, bunt. All right, so bo, bis, bit, that's our future for first and second conjugation verbs. And that's all we've done so far. So that's pretty much what you got. So dokeo, dokes, doket, dokemus, doketus, dokent, right? Just the stem and the endings. Bom, bas, bot for the imperfect. Bo, bis, bit for the future. Our next verb that we have here is, our next verb that we have here is specto, spectare. So that is first conjugation. Our I form is always the first principal part, specto. Since this is first conjugation, we're going to see the A in all those forms. So specto, spectas, spectat, spectamus, spectatis, spectant. Okay. I watch, you watch, he watches, and so on and so forth. Imperfect, spectabam, spectabas, right? So this is our bom, bas, bot. Spectabam, spectabas, spectabat, spectabamus, spectabatis, and finally spectabunt. Okay. And for the future, first and second conjugation, we use bo, bis, bit. Spectabo, spectabis, spectabit, spectabimus, spectabitis, and spectabunt. Okay. That should be automatic at this point, right? I expect you guys to be able to take a first or second conjugation verb, make it in all these forms, be able to recognize them, so on and so forth. We get to our noun adjective pairs. So we've got, only a couple minutes ago. I think it usually takes about a minute or two for the Discord alert to go out. So we've got a second declension noun here in humus, right? So we've got, we got the layout here. So let me just do my formatting real quick. And here we go. Oops. All right. So we have our noun, which is humus. That's second declension. So humus, humi, Humo. Humon. Humo. Hey, Jaden. Humi. Humorum. Humis. Humos. Humis. Right. But it is a feminine noun, so roskidos, roskida, roskidum, we need to use roskida. That adjective, roskida, is first declension. Roskida, roskidai, roskidai, roskidam, roskida. And roskidai, roskidarum, roskidis, roskibs, roskidas, typing, roskidis. Okay. So it's a second declension noun, but the adjective is first declension because it's feminine. And then our famous pirate, he is a pirate. Oh, so many long marks here. Oh boy. This is going to test me. So pirata, piratai, right, first declension noun. Piratai, nope. Piratam, pirata. Yep. In the plural, piratai, piratarum, pirat. Oof. So many long marks. Piratis. Pirat. Oh boy. Piratas. Pirat. It's so many keystrokes. There we go. So we have first declension noun, easy money. So on and so forth. But pirate is masculine, so we need to describe him as notus, which is second declension. So notus. Noti, noto, notum, noto. Us, e, o, o. And then over on the plural side, noti, notorum, notis, notos, notis. So first example here, we have a second declension noun, which is feminine. So we have the first declension adjective. And down here we have the opposite. We have a first declension noun, but it's masculine, so our adjective is second declension. So just trying to show you all the different combinations. I think when I made this worksheet, we hadn't done third yet, so I didn't include that. About 10 minutes ago, and I haven't done the first page yet. I've only done the second page. So we went over the verby stuff here, right? Second conjugation verb. Yeah, I didn't go that fast. And then we have the noun adjective stuff here. But the main event is the front here. This is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time, okay? So building sentences, composing sentences, you have to have a lot going on upstairs. When it comes to nouns, you have to be thinking about the case. So if the noun is the subject of the sentence, we need to put it in the nominative case. If it's singular, make it singular. If it's plural, make it plural. Jumping ahead to the verb, right? The verb is going to reflect who that subject is. So if I am the subject, the verb's going to be first person singular. If they are the subject, it's going to be third person plural, and so on and so forth. This is what we call subject-verb agreement. They have to agree with each other. If a verb is singular, right, the subject has to be singular. If a verb is plural, the subject has to be plural. So obviously nominative case is big, although sometimes the nominative case you don't need it because it's just kind of built into the verb. So next comes the accusative case. Any direct object, right? If you're verbing something, right? I'm drinking tea. I'm writing a story. That thing that's being verbed goes into the accusative case. For most verbs, it goes in the accusative case. There are some verbs that like to not go with the accusative case, but that's for another time. If you're trying to show possession, you have two options, right? if it's my book or it's your book or it's our book, that kind of thing, there are adjectives for that, right? There's an adjective for my, there's an adjective for our. If it's someone else's, if it's Marcus's book or it's Julia's book, anytime you'd have that apostrophe S like that, then you put that person in the genitive case. So it's one or the other, right? Either you use an adjective like my or your, or you use the genitive case if it's somebody else's. If it's Julia's, if it's Livia's, if it's, you know, Augustus's, then you put it in the genitive case. Dative, really the only situation we're going to have a dative is if we have one of those verbs like giving or showing or telling. It's that extra person involved, right? Giving a book to my friend, or sharing, telling a story to someone. Those are really the only times that we're going to have datives. And then if you remember, the ablative can be anything under the sun, right? Lots of different reasons to have something in the ablative, so it's hard to just name one of them. When you're making your verb, like I said, always think about the subject. Is it I? Is it you? Is it he or she? Make sure you use the correct ending. And then think about the tense, right? Is it present? In which case, just use the stem and the endings. If it's imperfect, we got to use the bom, bas, bot. If it's future, bo, bis, bit for first and second. So we're going to take this nice and slow, right? The first one is already done for us. So let's see how I want to do this. Yeah, we'll just go right into it. Okay. He was giving money to my son, right? Tegan, you are so close. You are so close. I see your verb, right? Dabat, he was giving. And let me actually flip the chat back onto the screen here. You guys can see the chat, right? Yeah. We got to do one thing to your answer, Tegan, and think about what the money is doing in that situation. He was giving money to my son. So what role is the money playing? There we go, right? So we have pecuniam, right? And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this a little bit better. There we go. So pecuniam here is the direct object, right? It's the accusative. He was giving money to my son. So you have filio in the dative, which is awesome. I'm just going to throw in meo filio, right? In the dative case. He was giving money, the direct object, to my son, indirect object. And then your verb there, dabat, perfect, right? You made your verb third singular, and you made it imperfect, right? Which is perfect. I can't say that. You did a nice job with that, right? So we have our direct object, we have our indirect object, and then we have our verb. Okay? That was good. That was really good. Right? And it makes sense that you would do it because it's the first word of the sentence. You're thinking it's probably, you know, but these things happen. That's why we practice. We will prepare dinner for the boy. We will prepare dinner for the boy. What are we thinking? So we need our vocabulary, right? Dinner is kena. Prepare is parare. Boy, puer. So it's always about knowing your vocab too, right? It's if you're going to build sentences, you got to have the words at the ready. So think about the verb here. We will prepare. Parabemos. Excellent. Jaden, I like it. I'm going to save that verb for the end if that's okay. Kenam, right, which is my direct object. Got it. Oops. And parabemos is a good looking verb. I like that. Just going to do a little formatting here while you guys are Thinking about your answers. I just need for the boy. So we'll throw the verb in there. How are we going to do for the boy? Boy is puero. Well, I just gave you the answer. Puero. Right, what case do I need to make him? Oops. So we don't want to be thinking like that. We don't want to be thinking, what's the word for this? What's the word for this? What's the word for this, right? Instead, think to yourself, what is the boy doing in that sentence? He's the indirect object. We're going to prepare dinner for him. And there's actually two ways that you could do this. You could just do it with the dative. That would be 100% correct. Or we'll look at it in a different way. And then we have our verb here, para bimos, right? Which is first plural future. And that all looks pretty good. So you could do it like that. Or you could also say for the boy, and I'm going to put it in the chat, pro, and then you would use the ablative. Pro puero. On the boy's behalf. That's another way that you could do it too. I think it's probably more common to see it in the dative though. So we're going to stick with the dative on the worksheet. Yeah, so this is, one of those things when you're composing, a lot of times what happens is you lose words. You actually have fewer words in Latin than you do in English, especially prepositions. Sometimes they kind of get eaten up into the case. Our next one here, Livia was the queen of the islands. She was the queen of the islands. So dig deep on this one because it might not be what you think. Livia was the queen. The queen was Livia. Livia equals the queen. So think about what case. I think we can all agree that Livia is going to be our subject, right? She's going to be our nominative. Our verb for was, right? Is an irregular verb. So, eramiras, erat. Excellent. And that verb can kind of go in multiple places. You could see it in the middle of the sentence. You could see it at the end of the sentence. Erat kind of goes wherever. The real question is, what case is the queen? Nice, nice, nice. Oh, uh-oh. Queen, which is the word regina, needs to be in the nominative case. And this is, if you remember, this is your prednom. Because Livia was the queen. We can't use the accusative here because she's not getting verbed, right? It's just restating who she is. It's all good. And then you guys are right on the money with the genitive, which is, just be careful, insularum. I'm going to take the size down here a little bit so we can see it all. There we go. Now it's all in one line. Right? So Livia was the queen of the islands. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, that sometimes happens. It's usually about 5 or 10 seconds, depending on your latitude. Zoom out just a little bit here. There we go. All right, Marcus shows the gold to the woman. I was really all about the dative case when I was writing these sentences. Marcus shows the gold to the woman. So easy start with our subject here, Marcus, right? He's in the nominative case. Shows the gold. Shows is probably going to go at the end. So the gold is aurum, fantastic, and it's neuter. So the accusative is just also going to be aurum. He shows it to the woman. So what case is the woman going to be if he is showing it to her? Feminae, right? She's going to be in the dative case. Feminae in the dative. Not narrare for show. That's to tell someone a story, right? Like narrate. The verb is monstrare. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. There's your verb to show. So if he, Marcus, shows the gold, what form is that verb going to be? If it's he shows. Monstrat, fantastic. Whoa, my typing is all over the place today. That's going to be third singular and present. These sentences are getting a little too long for this. Yeah, we'll try 10. There we go. Now they're all in one line. We need to know the vocab for the quiz. You don't have to worry about the vocab. I'll give it to you. If I ever ask you to do something like this, I don't want vocabulary to get in the way, so I would give it to you. If I were asking you to read these stories or read sentences that had these words that you should know, then yeah, I would expect you to know it. But going the other way, I'll make sure that you have the vocabulary. The student's work will be good. So you got to be careful here. What's the subject of this sentence? The student's work will be good. The work. Excellent. And the word for work is labor. Student is genitive. Excellent. So work is the subject. How am I going to make student genitive? And notice it's the student apostrophe S. So it's one student's work. The work of the student, not the work of the students. Otherwise I'd have to move this apostrophe here. So the genitive would be... Oh, this word we have to know. I mean, this is like... Discipu... I'm going to say it's a girl student. I'm going to say it's a student of the female persuasion. Discipuli. Right? If it were a male student, we could say discipuli. Of course. So the student's work will be good. So how am I going to say will be? The work will be. So another irregular form of sum. Erit, fantastic, because it's the work will be. That's third singular future. Now what about the adjective good? What is it describing? And what case is the work? So you got to make it the same case. Prednom, excellent. So labor happens to be masculine. So bonus. And that's another nominative here. Labor discipuli erit bonus. The work of the student will be good. The student's work will be good. Next one here, the lion is able to scare the man. So the lion might be a new word for us. The nominative of that word is leo. Leonis would be the genitive, makes sense. The lion is able to scare the man. So let's keep the verby stuff for the end. What case is the man going to be? The lion is able to scare the man. We roam, right? He is the direct object. So lion is the subject. And then we roam is my accusative direct object. Now we have a two-part verb here. We have he is able, and then we have to scare. So potest, right? That's my conjugated verb. How do I finish that off? He's able to scare. What form do I need? So right now I'm just waiting on something. I'm missing a little something right in there. What form do I need? The verb to scare is tereo. What do we call that form? To scare. That is my... And what is that form called? Terere is absolutely correct. What's that form? Infinitive. Let's go. Right? We need an infinitive because of this verb, potest. He's able to do something. He's able to scare the man. Fantastic. That's okay. The farmer was praising his daughter, so we have our farmer here as our subject. Agricola, right, in the nominative. Where did the underlining come from? There we go. What do we think? I'll leave you guys to it. Daughter is philia. What case did you make filiae, Jaden? He's praising his daughter. Oh, so you don't want to do that. Just because it's his daughter, that doesn't change what is her role in the sentence. She is the what? Yeah, she's the direct object, right? So, filiam. To say that it's his daughter, we have two options. Number one, we say nothing. And we just assume. The other option is what you just put. But since it's a daughter, we have to say suam. So your options are to leave it blank and just say daughter, and we just assume he's praising his own daughter, not someone else's daughter. Or if you want to be absolutely specific that he's praising his own daughter, use the adjective suam. But no genitives, right? That's what I said earlier. You either use one of those adjectives or you put somebody's name into the genitive, but you don't do both. And then your verb, guys, was absolutely right. Laudabat, right? Third singular imperfect. Agricola laudabat filiam suam. Suam because it's agreeing with daughter. Even though it's his daughter, daughter is feminine. So that's how adjectives work. And then the last one here, the kingdom of the gods, plural. All right, Tegan. Get it, Teague. All right, so I'll give you all the vocabulary you need, right? You have a regnum, which is a kingdom. You have a deus, which is a god. And you have caelum, which is the sky, the heavens. And I know you know is, so I'm not even going to tell you that. Tegan, 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 Tegan. No pressure, Tegan. I'm giving you a Jeopardy countdown. Oh, we could use day. You could. Later Latin is definitely going to start using day. But in classical Latin, think about it, it's the gods' kingdom. It's their kingdom. They own it. So instead of using day, we're going to call it the regnum. Or were you just... Oh, okay, you hadn't finished the word yet. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were using the preposition day. Which actually you could use. That was a happy accident. Jaden's coming for you. So are all the people watching this video like, come on, Bartoloma, spit it out. I've been watching for 30 minutes. I told you this one was going to go longer. Tegan, 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 Tegan. Jaden's got places to be, Tegan. You better get this out. Well done, except for one thing. I agree with that sentence. That sentence is very much correct. Except it's not what the English sentence says. So it doesn't say that the kingdom of the gods is in the sky. It says it is the sky. So we would probably say est, right? Our third singular present verb. And then we would just keep it nominative, kailun. Right, it's a predicate nominative situation, right? The kingdom is the sky. But I agree with you that their kingdom is also in the sky. So what you did is awesome. If that's what the sentence had said, you did in Kylo, you made it ablative, you crushed it, Tegan. You just always got to read the fine print, right? So these are the simple kind of sentences that we should be able to put together. And it seems to me like the thing that's holding people back is vocabulary. It's on Mount Olympus, but Mount Olympus is kind of mythological, and really they considered the gods to be more upstairs or on top. Oh, is that Percy Jackson? No, it's all good, man. You're crushing it. All right, I'm gonna cut the video here. You guys did incredible work. I really do appreciate you being here because I just think it's better to have it coming from you guys. So thank you guys. My apologies, we're a little over time, but I'll cut it down. It'll probably be about 32 minutes once I cut it. All right, guys. Thanks so much.